Welcome to the deep dive. This is where you come when you really need that intellectual shortcut,
Yeah.
especially if you're maybe gearing up for a career change or stepping into a new job or, just trying to be more effective quickly in a professional setting. You probably already know this, but just having the knowledge isn't enough. Knowing how to communicate it, that's pretty much everything.
Absolutely. It's the difference between knowing something and being able to use it effectively.
So today we're diving into a really specific resource.
Hmm.
It kind of cuts through all the usual English learning stuff
Yeah.
and focuses purely on the essential vocabulary and phrases you actually need for the workplace. It's less about grammar rules, more like a ready-to-go communication kit.
Exactly. And that's key. If you're a learner, or honestly anyone feeling swamped by information, you don't need another giant textbook. You need that curated, high-leverage knowledge, the Pareto principle.
Yeah.
The 20% of language that probably gives you 80% of your professional mileage.
Right. And the source we're digging into is from the Learn and Success community resource. What I find fascinating is just how, ruthless it is in its efficiency. They've basically boiled down the whole world of modern professional talk into just 3 core areas, 3 places you just can't avoid.
Mm-hmm. And the selection process itself tells a story, doesn't it? They didn't just throw together a list of corporate buzzwords. They pinpointed the 3 specific environments where not having the right language, it instantly means missed opportunities or, unnecessary friction. So it's not just about learning words. It's about learning the right words for the biggest impact on your working life.
Okay, so that's our mission today. Let's unpack that decision. Why these 3 areas specifically? We're talking job interviews, professional emails, and professional meetings. Why are these the absolute bedrock for professional fluency? What do they do? Okay, let's get into it. Right, let's start with the big one, the one that probably causes the most immediate stress, the job interview. This situation is pretty unique, isn't it? It's high stakes, you're on the clock. It's basically a performance review before you even get the job. You're not just having a chat, you're selling something. And that something is, you.
And that intense pressure, that's precisely why you need more formalized language. In an interview, you're trying to project competence, confidence, all while you're probably pretty nervous. If you stumble or just rely on everyday conversational English, you might come across as vague or unsure, or worse, just unprepared.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the vocabulary is specialized because it has a job to do, like structuring your answers?
Exactly right. It's designed to help you organize complex stories, your experiences, into answers that are easy to follow and, frankly, impressive. Think about that classic interview question. Tell me about a time when...
And we have the STAR method prompt.
Precisely. If you don't have the right structuring language ready, your answer can just meander, become a rambling story. But these essential interview phrases, they act like scaffolding. They almost force you into that STAR structure: situation, task, action, result. So you can clearly and quickly lay out the situation, what needed doing, what you did, and critically, the measurable outcome, the result.
But let me push back a bit here. What about authenticity? If someone's learning English for work, shouldn't they just speak clearly in their own words? Isn't there a risk of sounding a bit robotic or like you're just reciting corporate jargon?
That's a really important point. The goal isn't to sound fake. It's about achieving clarity under pressure. See, when you're stressed, your natural fluency often takes a hit. Learning these structured phrases kind of automates the delivery, the polish. It frees up your mental energy to focus on the actual content, the substance of your answer.
Okay, so it's like a mental shortcut when you're stressed.
Exactly. Take addressing a weakness. That's a classic interview landmine, right? The unprepared person might stumble, maybe get defensive, or sound genuinely unsure, which isn't great.
Right.
But the prepared candidate, armed with the right phrases, they use language that acknowledges the point, maybe frames it as a growth opportunity, like you often hear, and then immediately shows they have a plan. They might say something like, while I recognize that Area X is something I'm developing, I've actively sought out training in Y, which has led to.
Yeah.
See, that specific structure instantly signals self-awareness, proactivity. It's not just admitting a flaw, it's demonstrating initiative.
Okay, I see. So the vocabulary isn't just for show, it's functional. Yeah. It helps you control the pace, shift topics smoothly, like moving from past stuff to how you fit the company's future.
Yeah.
And it keeps your self-presentation sharp.
Precisely. It's managing the narrative under scrutiny. For the effort involved in an interview, mastering this specific language probably offers the highest potential reward.
So the takeaway for you listening, if you're prepping for that crucial gateway moment, the interview focusing on the vocabulary to structure your personal story,
Yeah.
that's likely where you'll see the biggest, fastest payoff. Okay, let's shift gears now. Pillar number 2, the written record. We're talking professional email. This feels like a dramatic shift, right? From speaking live under pressure to crafting something asynchronous, precise, recorded. Why email specifically? I mean, why not texts or like Slack messages?
Well, the key difference lies in the emails, sort of enduring nature and its inherent formality. Often, an email serves as an official document. It's a record for tracking decisions, commitments, even sorting out disagreements down the line. Internal chat platforms. They're faster, sure, more casual, but they rarely carry that same official weight.
Okay. And the lack of nonverbals must play a huge role, too.
Absolutely crucial. Email strips away everything, your tone of voice, your body language. There's no immediate chance to clarify if someone misreads you. This just makes clarity and professional formality absolutely paramount. You can't risk being misunderstood.
Yeah, a badly worded email, even if you meant well.
Yeah.
It could stop a project cold or annoy a colleague or just create confusion about who's supposed to do what.
Exactly. So the essential phrases for emails, they're the tools you use to manage that tone and just minimize ambiguity. Think about all those repetitive but really critical email tasks. Making requests politely, offering clarification, scheduling things.
Following up without sounding pushy.
Yes. How do you chase something that's overdue without sounding aggressive? Or correct someone without making them defensive? These essential phrases are like little linguistic shortcuts for managing the relationship digitally. They automate the right level of politeness or deference or authority that the situation calls for.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of just writing, say, I need the report by Tuesday, which can sound a bit blunt, right? The more professional phrase might be something like, I would appreciate receiving the report by Tuesday so we can finalize the presentation. See? It softens the demand, gives context, shows you respect their time. It achieves the same goal, but maintains the relationship.
Right, it greases the wheels. So connecting this back for the listener.
Yeah.
The big win here is probably efficiency.
Huge efficiency gains. Think about how much time people waste second-guessing their email phrasing. Does this sound okay? Is it too direct, too passive? If you master a core set of reliable, professional email phrases for openings, requests, clarifications, closings, you save so much mental energy.
You basically automate the politeness part.
You do. You automate the politeness and the professionalism so you can draft those crucial emails much faster, much more confidently. And that cuts down friction in your day-to-day work massively. That time saving alone makes learning these phrases a really smart investment. It lets you move from carefully building every sentence to just slotting your message into a trusted, professional framework.
Okay, which brings us nicely to the third pillar. This feels like the middle ground. Real-time collaboration, professional meetings. It's less formal or structured than an interview, maybe, but definitely faster paced than email. So if interview language is about performance and email language is about clear documentation, what's the main job of language in meetings?
Interaction, influence, and managing the flow. That's what it boils down to. The essential phrases you need in a meeting are really the tools for participating effectively, for steering the conversation towards, agreement or action.
Yeah, it's that dynamic element that's tricky. You could have a brilliant idea, but if you can't find the right way to jump in.
Exactly. Or if you can't defend it constructively when someone pushes back immediately, your idea just evaporates. So we need phrases that handle how we enter the conversation politely, how we disagree without shutting things down, how we nudge the discussion back when it goes off track.
Disagreeing constructively is a big one. Just saying, that's wrong, well, that kills the conversation.
Right. But a phrase like, I see your point about X, but maybe if we also consider Y, we could get to Z. That keeps the door open. It allows the discussion to move forward without making it personal or creating unnecessary tension. These phrases are basically diplomatic tools for group work.
And what about just getting a word in edgewise? Especially if you're newer or maybe less assertive. Interrupting feels rude, but sometimes you have to.
It's a tough skill.
Yeah.
But there are phrases for it. You need language that signals respect for whoever's speaking, but also clearly states your need to contribute now before the moment passes.
Like what?
Oh, things like, sorry, may I jump in quickly here? Or if I could just add a related thought. Simple things, but they act as essential lubricants for that group dialogue. They manage the interruption.
Okay. And then there's the end of the meeting, making sure it wasn't just a chat.
Yes, the critical closing function. A meeting without clear outcomes or accountability is mostly a waste of time. So the specific vocabulary needed here is all about locking down action items. Who does what by when.
Right. You need phrases for summing things up.
Okay, so to quickly summarize our key decisions, that kind of thing. And most importantly, closing the loop on who owns the next steps. The meeting shouldn't really end until you've heard clear statements like, okay, I'll take responsibility for X, or, so can we confirm Sarah will circulate the notes by Friday? That needs to be explicit.
Got it. So the language here transforms you. You go from just sitting there listening to actually being an engaged, influential participant. It ensures your voice gets heard and that your input helps shape what actually happens after the meeting.
Exactly. It's about active contribution and ensuring follow-through.
So let's pull this all together. What's the big picture here? The creators of this resource, they didn't just pick topics out of a hat. It feels very strategic. They zeroed in on these three absolutely unavoidable workplace situations where your communication skills are either a bottleneck or they're your biggest asset.
They isolated that critical communication trio. You've got the high-stakes personal pitch, the interview demanding that structured narrative, then the persistent formal written trail emails needing absolute clarity and sort of relational care. And finally, the dynamic collaborative space meetings, where it's all about interaction, influence, and accountability.
It's actually a really smart framework when you lay it out like that, if you can handle these three.
Right. Mastering the essential vocabulary across just these three domains gives you a surprisingly complete professional toolkit. It means you're equipped to be fluent, professionally speaking, in the moments that really define your effectiveness. When you're asking for something important, when you're being evaluated, or when group decisions are on the line, it takes away a lot of the guesswork, and just lets your actual competence shine through the words you use.
So connecting it all up, this isn't really just about learning English phrases in isolation.
No, not at all. It's about strategically learning the specific language of professional success. It's about targeted fluency.
Okay, so today we focused on why these specific three areas, interviews, emails, meetings, were likely chosen as the highest leverage communication zones. Now here's something for you to think about on your own. Consider the main function of the language in each pillar. Structuring your personal story under pressure, getting written communication precise and unambiguous, or effectively participating and influencing in group discussions. Which of these three domains, interviews, emails, or meetings, feels like your biggest opportunity for immediate improvement? Where could mastering just a few key phrases make the most difference in your professional life right now? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.